This is the part where you insert like the do.
Wow. All right, so hey everybody, welcome to one of our first Tenkara Guides videocasts. My name is Eric.
I'm John.
I'm Rob.
And today we just wanted to kind of introduce ourselves, let you know a little bit about who we are and what makes us cool as a company, and then talk a little bit about what Tenkara means to each of us. And I think that the great thing about our company is that we have a really unique dynamic, and I think John says it best.
So, I don't know, it's a weird group. We have engineer, doctor, unemployed helicopter pilot.
Yeah. slash everything.
Yeah,
everything. He's done everything.
Been around the block a little. Yeah. So it's unique.
Yeah.
There's a very technical aspect, a very heavy research-oriented aspect, and the fly-by-the-seat of the pants aspect. That's kind of how I look at it.
How did you two meet? Because I never know if I really.
Like
was it really when Tenkara USA came to Western Rivers Outfitters, our local fly shop, and did a demo? Was that really the first time you guys had met in person?
No.
No.
Okay.
So I guess we met online on forum.
It was like when Harry met Sally.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You got mail, right? Yeah. But I was traveling to Los Angeles on a business trip.
Okay.
And wanted to do some fishing and contacted John.
I was living there.
Yeah, and you're living there, and we went fishing. Beautiful stream. Caught some beautiful trout.
We found some underwear.
We did find some underwear.
Women's underwear.
Yeah,
really
women's
cool.
underwear.
Oddly enough, that's neither the
It's not the weirdest thing we've ever
last time that we found women's underwear. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we started talking. I think we got the business or the idea for a guide business like almost that day. I mean we just kind of clicked. We started working on it, and then we decided to bring the Tenkara USA thing to Western Rivers, and that's where we met you.
Yeah, I had probably been Tenkara fly fishing for a few months at that point in time. Started for a backpacking trip and discovered on backpackingline.com, and heard about that Tenkara USA was coming to town, so went there, met you guys. I think the three of us at the end of the first night. I was the only guy out of the audience that showed up to dinner.
Yeah, I seem to remember that. Yeah, it was
us and Daniel.
Us three, Daniel, my wife, Dan,
Yeah.
and you.
Yeah.
And and for whatever reason, we clicked really good.
Yeah.
Both climber background, and just really work well with each other on the river. And I don't know, a few months after that, after talking for a long time, we finally decided to bite the bullet.
And a lot of fishing.
Yeah.
There was a lot of fish. I mean, there was like 5 days a week of fishing.
Yeah. It was pretty
months in between.
A lot of stuff. A lot of time on the river.
Yeah.
Practicing stuff, making sure that we know our stuff, really, testing to see if, do we really feel confident enough to teach this stuff?
Yeah.
And I think that we know what we're doing.
Well, people are paying us, so doesn't mean we know what we're doing. We're getting paid.
we're not making a lot of money. But,
no.
But we're getting
any
paid.
money.
Yeah, I met with the account last week, and she said we made a profit. So
oh yeah, yeah. And
right.
anything more than $1 is a profit,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
more or less.
But we're not. It's not like we're. We're not raking in the buku bucks or anything like that.
Right.
I think the idea to actually form the guide business was kind of funny. So I was driving to work in Orvis, in Pasadena, California. It took me an hour and a half to drive 25 miles from where I lived to the Orvis store. Sitting there in gridiron bumper to bumper traffic, pissed. I'm moving back to Utah in a couple of months. I'm ready to get out.
Mm-hmm.
I called Eric. Did I call you or text you? Maybe I texted you.
I don't know.
Well, I'm sitting in rush hour traffic. I think I texted Eric and said, "You want to start a guide business?" Here it is.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I never heard that part of the story.
Yeah,
That's great.
Yeah, I was sitting there. I was frustrated and ready to move back, and
So tell that story from your standpoint, because I got my own version of how I found out about the whole guide thing. So you got this text from John?
I think it was a text.
Yeah, I don't know.
That or a phone call, I can't remember. I remember sitting
Oh,
in
so
traffic.
it was a seminal moment in your life.
Yeah, I'm
One of many. I have to write them down.
Yeah, I know that when you get older, there are a few things that you lose first. You know, one is your eyesight, and I can't remember what the other one is.
Yeah, okay.
There's blue pills for that.
Yeah.
Rob can get you some.
Yeah.
But the way that the company's grown has been really cool. That we've been able to have relationships with a lot of different people in the industry, and really, you know, we each have different perspectives on what Tenkara is, and we each kind of practice it in a different way, and that also brings a good, strong dynamic to the company as well. I think. Yeah, you said it before. You're kind of more traditional, John.
Yeah, I like the more traditional approach.
Yeah, and then I kind of like to break the mold, and Rob's kind of somewhere in between.
Yeah.
And it really works for us. And
It's a good balance.
yeah, yeah, because I don't go overboard, and John doesn't get too traditional, and it's good.
Yeah,
It's
I
really
leave,
good.
I leave the sword at home most days.
Yeah. Yeah, leave your sword at home. But you know, there's been a lot of talk about, you know, what Tenkara is and what Tenkara isn't and all that. And
What it is fun, and what it isn't is political.
right, yeah, yeah.
People make it political.
And I think that's the thing about it, is that it's just it's fishing, you know, and I mean, it doesn't really matter if you're doing Tenkara the right way. Or not, because you know, it's not like there are Tenkara police out there. The Tenkara FBI aren't going to come down. You're not using that rod right. You know, we'll be underneath the bridge fishing for carp, and they'll come down, snap our rods.
Yeah,
You know.
there you go.
Yeah.
And
But,
I mean, that's really why we sat down tonight, was to talk about, instead of trying to define Tenkara, just what Tenkara was for each of us.
yeah. So, John, what is Tenkara for you?
So it's a very multi-layered thing for me. So I've been involved in Japanese culture and arts my whole life. It's like my 29th or 30th year as a martial artist. Studied tea ceremony, ikebana, some traditional cooking that goes with the tea ceremony stuff, but then kendo, iaido, karate. So a lot of Japanese culture, and then in a few years training to be a Zen monk.
Yeah, so you're about as Japanese as it gets for a white guy.
I did have a sensei from Japan, iaido sensei, tell me I was the whitest Japanese guy he'd ever met.
Wait, the whitest or the whitest?
the whitest.
Okay.
The cracker.
You're not a very big guy, so.
The Japanese version of a cracker?
Yeah. All right. Enough with the racial slurs here.
But to me, I really like the infinite subtleties and the layers and the dissecting the technique, and just kind of letting it unfold. So to me, it's like watching the slow motion video of a flower bloom. It just opens up and opens up, and it's just this infinite thing to me. Just learning the traditional method and really focusing in on what aspects I do understand, which leads to new stuff that I don't understand, so it's this perpetual cycle of always learning, always growing. But at the same time, I love fishing for carp. Holy crap, it's fun.
Yeah. You get a big ugly fish like that on the end of your
there's-
line, and it's just, wow.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
we laugh more doing that than anything else. It's just,
Yeah.
you think we were huffing whipping cream down there. It's hilarious.
Yeah, really smelly whipping cream.
Yeah, yeah, it does stink. So I mean, even though I really, really like the culture and the tradition and all those aspects of it, I really like all the experimenting we do and just developing something new, which I think is fun. So we have a 1,000-year-old sport, and we're, as a group, developing new ideas and methods, and so it's cool too.
Yeah, and we're trying stuff that probably hasn't been done, I mean, anywhere else in the world. I mean, maybe, who knows?
Well, when
what's happening
Ishigaki
in
was
the
here,
world.
there were a lot of days there were a lot of times when he was with us fishing this last summer, and he's just like,
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But
well, he was always laughing.
yeah. And we were always having fun anyway.
Yeah.
Well, Eric, what's Tenkara to you?
Yeah, Tenkara for me is, I really like, I don't know, I like knowing where Tenkara came from, and I like that tradition and that philosophy, but I'm totally ADD, and doing that same thing over and over. I'm not
See a squirrel?
Yeah, what? I'm not gonna watch a flower bloom, like John will. I'm gonna get bored, and I'm gonna go start looking for, who knows what other stuff. And that's been the most exciting thing for me. I started off, Western fly fishing, and when I learned about Tenkara, I was just like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. I went to my Tenkara Perfect Streams that we have here in Utah, and it was just fish after fish, and it's not that it instantly made me a better fisherman. It's just that I was instantly able to apply the technique to the water that it works good on. And my philosophy, just with anything, whether it's climbing or whether it's fishing, is that I want to be able to fish anywhere I go. And with climbing, I've always wanted to be able to just climb wherever I go. That's why I even got into aid climbing, and I bouldered and ice climb and all that stuff. And to me, that's what Tenkara can be, is that I can do traditional Tenkara on Tenkara water. I can check nymph on check nymph water. I can hook big nasty streamers with a 17-foot carry rod and catch big fish on a big river. And there's so many things that I can do with it, and I love that. And I love just seeing all the different applications for it.
Yeah.
And it excites me, to be honest. I just love that. And I think there's kind of, I don't know, maybe there's that part of that you like, Rob?
Yeah, I mean, the excitement's totally there. I mean, the interesting thing for me is that, I didn't grow up in the West.
No.
I didn't grow up, no.
He's our brookie.
I'm the brookie.
Yeah. He's the cutthroat.
Yeah.
From the brown trout.
No, I didn't grow up in the East where the fishing was that great. I was actually born in Oklahoma, and I don't know if there's any trout fishing in Oklahoma. There's a little bit of climbing, but there's not a whole lot of trout fishing. After that, I moved to Maryland, and but the one thing that I did have growing up is that I fished for a lot of freshwater species, and then when I moved to Maryland onto the Chesapeake Bay, I fished for a lot of saltwater species. And I fished I fly fished quite a bit, Western fly fishing, particularly once I hit the Chesapeake Bay, but I have just as much, if not more, experience with a spin caster and a bait caster. I had all this background, came here, picked up a Tenkara rod, and was just kind of home. And that's it. I really don't have a whole lot of interest in returning to any of the other forms of fly fishing or any of the other forms of fishing that I did before Tenkara. It just really feels like home. It feels like it's my match. It works really well.
And you think that's because of the simplicity of it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm kind of like you in that I'm torn in a dichotomy between my American lack of
Doctor words.
Dichotomy.
It's an SAT word.
I just drive machines.
I'm torn. I'm torn between this like you said, this American short attention span and wanting to do things new and differently, and this emotion that's kind of I've lived my entire life with before finding Tenkara, of just wanting to simplify across the board. Everything in my life I try to streamline and simplify. I don't want the modern clutter. And so Tenkara for me kind of fit the bill for both. It allows me to explore that simplification, and I'm one of those believers that when you strip down everything and you get to the meat of things, which is what Tenkara lets you do, you can really concentrate on what's important, which is presentation. I'm a big believer in that as far as the traditional style goes. But my American lack of yeah, see, I already forgot what I was saying. my 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 ADHD kicks in, and I want to try something else. The nice thing about it is that when I try something else, at the end of the day, I can sit back and say, okay, what did I learn from that? What did I learn from the tight line technique of check nymphing? Or, what did I learn from that visible line that I have in most of the time when I'm Spanish or French nymphing? And then I can take that back and apply it to traditional. And I bounce back and forth with that knowledge base. So in reality, I'm still moving towards that same ultimate goal of being, a better fisherman and having more fun doing it.
Right, yeah, and in all those techniques, I mean, they're really all have an underlying theme of presentation, maybe tight line, and a simplicity.
Yeah.
And you can complicate it as much as you want to, but simplicity is the ultimate goal. And I think to illustrate the perfect extreme with you for simplicity is that you cut the swivel off of your $400 Daiwa rod.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is too complicated.
Let's not tell Daiwa that. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's
Chris,
a perfect example. Yeah, yeah.
I did that for him.
Yeah, he had the Dremel.
Yeah.
No, that's very true. I mean, there was a swivel at the end of my Daiwa rod that I love so much, and I love it a lot more now that swivel is sliced off.
Yeah, just for the sake of simplicity.
Yeah, it was one too many moving parts on my rod.
Yeah, and I think that
it was the only moving part on the rod.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of the things that you talked about during that was learning what you have on the river and then taking it back and kind of digesting it and seeing how it applies to other stuff.
Right.
And I think as a trio, I think we do a pretty good job of that.
We could do a good job of beating each other up, so we do a good job.
Yeah. Well, no, I get where you're going.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I do that internally, but it's not really internal. It's between the three of us. So, John goes out for a day of fishing while we're stuck in work. And John, tells us everything he learned, and we really take it in. I mean, it goes that way anytime any of us go on a trip, whether we're together or we're separate. Mm-hmm. So the relationship's been phenomenal, both on and off the water. The on water relationship is ridiculous. I can't ever imagine having two more guys that I could fish with side by side down a river, continuously swapping what's working, what's not working, techniques, and everything else.
Insults.
In complete openness. Yeah.
Insults.
And insults. Yeah. It wouldn't be fun without the insults.
Yeah, but I mean, we'll go to a hole, and one of us will fish it for a while and be like, all right, why don't you try it? We'll sit back and
right.
we're each watching the other person, and
everybody's doing something different.
And we'll purposefully do something different.
Yeah.
Because if we're all doing the same thing, then we're not really learning.
Right. Yeah. And even if Eric, picks up on a fly that happens to be working really good that day, most of the time, if I find that out, I don't necessarily tie on that fly.
I don't, because I don't have it.
Yeah. Yeah. But we do. I mean, we intentionally try something different just to see, just to find out.
Yeah. And that actually helps us. I remember one time on the river with a client, we were out on this beautiful river, and he was catching fish. He was having a great time catching fish, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is the slowest day ever, But he was catching fish, and I'm like, I'm furiously trying to figure out what flies are working, what combo is working, and I finally found it out, and it was magical. And he caught so many fish that day, and he turned a day that was or that he thought was awesome into like, wow, and that's the way we are on the river. Is that, if we're having a slow day, it's because maybe the river's ice and we can't get to it.
Right, yeah. Yeah, our slow days usually don't last that long just because we got three people all trying different things.
Yeah.
Three heads are better than one. And the times that it is really slow,
then you become a philosopher.
Yeah, there you go.
A philosopher.
Yeah. But I don't honestly know. With the exception of an iced river, I really don't know the last time we got blanked on a trip.
Yeah, knock on wood somewhere.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Right.
We're gonna get blanked now.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's I don't know, it's just a lot of fun, the dynamic that we have, and we're really looking forward to learning more. Uh, I mean, from ourselves, from our American counterparts, from our Japanese counterparts, and hopefully European counterparts as well.
Yeah, we got a lot more to learn, and it's going to be fun doing it.
Yeah, yeah. And Tenkara is just so new. I mean, 3 years.
Right.
In the
yeah.
United States, we're not masters by any stretch of the imagination because we've been doing it for 3 years.
Yeah, we got a lot to learn, and I promise you, in future pod or video casts, we won't be talking so much about ourselves. The idea tonight was to introduce ourselves. The idea tonight was to introduce ourselves and hopefully get some people out there excited to do the same thing that we feel like we're having so much fun doing. Tenkara fishing as a team, swapping ideas and just really being open with everything.
Yeah. So thanks everybody for watching. We're gonna try and put out something every Tuesday. Won't be a video cast every Tuesday. Maybe it'll be a fly tying video one Tuesday. Maybe a video cast another one. Maybe something on the river. Who knows what else?
Yeah, we have some really cool toys that we're going to be using this year.
Yeah, we need to do gear
Yeah.
reviews. Yeah, I
Yeah.
keep forgetting about that.
We got a
So
bunch
look
of
forward to
toys.
some gear reviews.
Yeah.
We'll put that out. So again, thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you next time.